假如书籍会说话，今日对话，白夜行。
Teacher Bai Di, can the relationship between Zhu and Ruji truly be considered love? Why does their bond evoke both fear and heartache?
What they share is not love, but a surgical suturing of wounds. When two broken souls find that their traumas fit perfectly together, symbiosis becomes a more fierce law of survival than love.
But they have hurt so many innocent people. Can such evil ever be understood?
Have you ever seen a scalpel judge cancer cells? In the story of the malignant transformation of human nature, the standards of good and evil were extinguished by one's own hands on a certain afternoon in childhood. All meticulously planned acts of revenge are but desperate imitations of self-redemption.
That mall fall incident kept me up all night. How could Yuki remain so calm while gazing at the body?
When you've witnessed far more terrifying falls at the age of 7, like the moment your mother handed you over to a pedophile, the expression on a corpse is nothing more than a common sight in a coloring book.
Are you saying that it's justifiable for a victim to become a perpetrator when the line between victim and perpetrator blurs?
The sound of a person gnawing on their own ribs or chewing on another's heart when driven to the brink of starvation is, at its core, a symphony of survival. The only difference lies in whether it is the moral sense or the pain receptors that break first.
Can the dedication with which Ruji protected Yukiho until his death not be considered a part of his light? Loyalty nurtured in 20 years of darkness is more chilling than betrayal under the sun. Look at his scissors. They can both create pure paper cuttings and slit the throat of a father. So-called protection is merely the mirror image of despair. What does the recurring R and Y store in the book symbolize?
R is the lingering shadow of Ruji, and Y is the phallus of Yukiho. When a fragmented personality grows a deformed organ to complete itself, do you think they are running a boutique? Number. It's a specimen gallery displaying sutured wounds to the world.
Does Yukiho saying my sky has no sun mean she has completely given up on redemption?
On the contrary, she is creating an artificial daylight with a 1,000-watt spotlight. All seemingly refined lives are but emergency lighting lest. When true darkness falls, we see the bloodstains in our shadows.
Why, after 19 years of police investigation, have all the crimes managed to stay just beyond the reach of the law?
Truly perfect crime doesn't lie in the chain of physical evidence, but in the blind spots of human nature. They have long planted the evidence in the silence of every bystander. Just as you can smell the stench of death but cannot find the body.
Why did Yukiho pretend not to know Ruji when he jumped off the building?
When the symbiote severs the last blood vessel, the excruciating pain brings an absolute calm. A lie! I don't know him, is a promise heavier than a wedding ring to continue gazing into the night with his eyes.
What is the deeper meaning behind the repeated appearance of the book Gone with the Wind in the novel?
Scarlett O'Hara protected Terra in the midst of war, while Yukio Shizuru built her luxury empire upon a field of corpses. These two fictional embodiments of strength are strikingly similar. Both must tear down their curtains to make splendid garments. And both must tell those they hold dear, I will never go hungry.
Is the portrayal of the mother selling her daughter in the book too cruel?
It's not a case of mothers betraying their daughters, but rather the systematic suppression of innocence by adult society. The cradle used for such transactions has long been placed in the fate of every child. The only difference is when they are pushed into it.
With the frequent occurrence of school bullying incidents, do you think this is the script for a new era's Journey Under the Midnight Sun?
What's even more terrifying is that the children who commit violence now do so with beauty filters on. Back then, Ritsu at least knew he was living in the gutter. But how many people today are practicing to stab others while wearing angel wings?
What do you think is the greatest tragedy?
It is not the spread of evil, but the corruption of good. The gentle touch with which Yukiho applies hand cream to the girl's hands is the same as that of her mother when she applied ointment to Yukiho's skin.
Why does the ending leave one breathless?
Because at the moment you close the book, you'll find that your right hand is also holding the phantom of a pair of scissors we've all secretly cut through some moral boundary to protect someone.
Would it have been different if they had sought help from adults back then?
Cockroaches don't seek help from pesticide manufacturers. When you reveal the first secret, you will receive 2 gifts, the size of adults in a deeper abyss.
Do you believe that human nature is inherently good?
Every infant arrives with the sacred starlight. But sadly, most are placed into opaque incubators before they even learn to walk. Look at those self-centered elitists. They are nothing more than phosphorescent skeletons.
Can those living in a white night still see hope?
Their white nights are the twilight we overlook. When you say the moonlight is beautiful tonight, someone else is using that same light to discern bloodstains. That is the truth of human coexistence.
What would you say to the young snow?
I will give her a silent eraser. It's good for erasing the wrong answers in math. And it doesn't matter if it can't completely remove those dirty handprints, at least we know some stains. Shouldn't be borne by a child.
What is the warmest scene in the entire book?
It's Rio who dresses up as Santa Claus every Christmas. Brat? This habitual thief. Perjurer. And rapist chooses to imitate the symbol of purity. All sinners need to fabricate a sanctuary. Just like we create an illusion of light in our social circles.
The literary critic called it a book of despair. Do you agree?
They mistakenly took the analgesic for poison. Only when you have witnessed the eternal night of true human nature can you understand the 1 millimeter glimmer that rises with each turn of Yukiho's skirt. That is the stubborn photon amidst trillions of dark matter.